Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us. For this special figure showcase, we're going to be looking at the 1986 Decepticon leader, Galvatron. What we're going to do in this video, we'll have a quick look at him in all of his modes, and that'll help you decide how you want to display him. We'll have a look at the accessories that come with him. I'll point out a few things that you need to be aware of if you have to purchase one for yourself. And then this one's actually working. In fact, I think they all do, but I'm going to show you how that works as well. I'm also lucky enough to have a couple of different types of packaging, so we can have a look at the artwork, the battle scenes on that. Right then, let's get started. So here he is, as I've said, 1986. And let's be honest, this guy doesn't really need any introduction. He is, of course, the newly reformatted Megatron, made by Unicron in the Transformers the movie from 1986 as well. And this guy, to be honest, he's huge. He's absolutely massive. If you don't own one of these guys yet and you're not sure quite how big he is, there is a Generation 1 Cup who just about makes it up to his waist. And then, of course, we've got one of his legions. We've got Scourge, who's pretty much, he's still just over his waist. So this is a big Generation 1 toy. Very, very big. And funnily enough, he's great. His articulation is fantastic. In fact, he's one of the most articulated Generation 1 figures that came out at the time. He's got obviously the full shoulder ratchet movement there. He's got movement in what is known as either the bicep or the elbow. His hips swivel. Yeah, he's got quite a bit of articulation, to be fair. So even though he is quite big and he is quite blocky, you can do a lot with him. The accessories that came with him was this large gun, and then the cannon actually is in two parts, so you can actually take out that, and then of course you've got the shoulder mount there. They're the actual accessories, but the one thing I also like to be aware of is this part here, the sight, because that sometimes comes, well, it does come off, and it can be missing with them. So although it wasn't part of an accessory, it's there as well. It is sometimes missing. Yes, so I had this when I was a child. I was lucky enough to have this as a child, and I was only slightly disgruntled just by the fact of his colour scheme, but then you realise that the colour scheme is more to match the image of him in the Marvel comic rather than in the cartoon. I'll briefly segue into this guy, because this is where Takara and eHobby, they made another version, and this one came out in 2005, and as I've just said, this is the eHobby version, and this was a bit more screen accurate, as you can see by the colours of him. There's two other things they changed. They also changed the face slightly to make him look a little bit more angry, so they've given him a bit more of a frown, closed his eyes a little bit. And then of course the big thing was, if you remember, these were powered by 9-volt batteries, and these are now powered by AAA batteries, so much better and much easier to get hold of. That's probably the main reason, in fact, that I've delayed redoing this video, is trying to find another 9-volt battery somewhere, but I couldn't. I had to go and buy one. Right, let's come back to the figure itself though. So other things that you need to be aware of is the chrome and the stickers, and that's due to a lot of the transformation processes. You've got stickers there, chrome on his knees, chrome around the top of his head there. But like I've just said, he stands really well. Before we go into the other modes, I'm going to show you some different types of packaging, purely because I just love the Takara box's artwork. So I'm going to come to that in a second. So here is the standard Hasbro box, and you can see they've got his eyes lit up there. There is the brilliant image of Galvatron in there. We've got the transformation process there. It does show all three of the modes, even though the laser pistol mode was never used in a cartoon, and I don't think it was used in the comics either, to be honest. But I suppose it's just I can't remember, so I might be wrong, but it is obviously just a nice homage to the fact that he was Megatron. Right, I don't think I've got enough space to show you that. So on the back, we've got the familiar battle scene of the Titans. So you have Metroplex and Trypticon, both in their base modes. And this is the reason why I'm showing you this, just because the difference in the Takara one. Let's turn this around. You'll also notice that Takara box is much smaller, even though they've both got polystyrene inserts for a change. Usually, obviously, it's polystyrene, even though the Hasbro versions had bubbles. So you've got the same artwork there on the actual character. This box is a bit beaten up, to be fair. The D stood for Destron, and that means it's number 62. It also says Scramble City, and that's because that's the cartoon that they were running in Japan at the same time. And if I spin this round now, you've got one of my favourite battle scenes. So you've got the same two Titans, but you've got them transformed and in another mode. So there we've obviously got Triptychon, Metroplex. You can see Superior and Menasor coming in at the top there. A great piece of artwork. Right, what we'll do now, we'll have a look at another mode, then we'll have a look at some of the paperwork, and then we'll have a look at another mode again. So let's just quickly put him back there. So one of the main modes is this. It's like it's cannon, like tank mode. And again, this looks quite good, to be fair. You know, you've got the rolling wheels underneath, so it does actually do just that. It will roll off them and off the one on the back. I haven't put a battery in these. I've only put the battery in that one. But if you did have batteries in it, you'd press this black button there. The same, sorry, I forgot to point out, when he was in robot mode. When he's in robot mode, his eyes light up. When he's in this cannon mode, of course, the cannon bit at the end lights up. But I get this again, this is another cool mode. You can see that stickers again are playing, and the chrome around the front are playing a big part with this. If they're missing, it doesn't look too good. But like I've said, you know, it rolls, it attacks, it does exactly what you want it to, especially as a child. Right, let's have a quick look at some of the paperwork now before we go to the final mode. So this is the Hasbro instruction book. So you've just got black and white and the purple colour now because it's a Decepticon. And this, of course, came with this poster that everybody had up on their wall. The new leaders, Galvatron and Ultra Magnus. Whereas in the Japanese one, it didn't come with that. It came with loads of stuff, to be honest. It came with, you've got a mail away form, which has got Dirge, who's a mail away, and then of course your usual Omnibots. But believe it or not, Warpath, Ratchet and Cosmos, they were all mail aways in Japan as well. It also came with instructions on, you know, how to put and where to put the batteries in separately. It came with a feedback card, the instructions again, same colour scheme. But then the toy catalogue that the Japanese one had was this one. And this is quite interesting because it's huge. Let's have just a quick look at this. So you've got the Autobot side. And there we've also got, if you can see Slag there, he's got the red face Canadian variant. And then the aerial bots. And this is due to mainly Scramble City. These were all, see, there we are, there's the Scramble City. And then on the back, we've got the checklist. There's always more Autobots than Decepticons, and I believe that the reason for that is Japan loves the heroes more than the villains, so that's why there's always so much more. And there, of course, is the Decepticons on the back. I think that's just a culture. I may be 100% wrong, but that's what I've been told, and hopefully that's right, so I apologise if it's wrong. Right, there we go. So the final mode we're going to look at is the one that I mentioned. It didn't really get used much, and I believe it's just totally just a true homage down to the fact that he was Megatron. So you've got, can you see that with the light on it? Yeah, you can see the fact that that light bulb lights up. Perfect. And it does sometimes change the sound depending on which mode it's in. I love the way the fact that TF Wiki call it like a warbling sound, which is exactly that. But it still holds itself, you know, as another mode. It really does. And of course, for kids, playability factor, brilliant. Exactly that. It is really good. So there he is. As I said, he was 1986, released massively with the movie. Huge tie-ins, I believe, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that he's going to be getting a new remake under the Generations line, maybe under Kingdom. Let's hope so, because he's been so popular all the way down the years. And of course, so many different versions of him, Combiner Wars, classics, the Generations lines. They just keep making figures of him, and that's because he's just a great character. So there is the original anyway. So I hope you enjoyed looking at him. I hope it brought back some nice memories. I also hope it helped you with your decision if you were going to get one yourself. Keep your comments, suggestions and feedback coming, and of course, please take care.
Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.